Top of the morning, you guys. Welcome back. So right now we are headed to the gym, and yeah, there's no better vehicle that I'd rather be in right now, guys. Look, I miss the M2 so much, but in this particular moment of time, I just want to be driving on a Range Rover, man. I got the heated massage seats on right now, guys. Like, I don't even want to get out and go to the gym, man. I think I can work out just by driving this thing, guys. Alright guys, so let's just have a quick little comprehensive talk about the Range Rover Sport. So one of the coolest things is what's become quite standard, to be honest, in a lot of new cars, being able to open the tailgate electronically with your remote. Now, some of the cool things actually lay back here. So as you guys can see, it has a very clean appearance over there. It doesn't look like we have any towing capabilities. However, when you press this button right over there, you'll hear some beeping, and boom, the tow bar comes out there. It's hidden so that when you guys don't need to tow anything, your Range Rover looks super clean and super neat. So now let's say we go out to the country club, right, and we get a little bit tired, we want to sit down. Well, we can just put this up right there, and it's an awesome backrest. I can sit right there comfortably in my Range Rover Sport and just watch the horses and other things that Range Rover Sport owners do. Some of the other cool things that you'll find back here is this right here. So this actually gives us the option of lowering the back end of the vehicle, so it makes loading things in and out of it easier. And how we do it is quite simple. There's a button right here that's got the silhouette of the Range Rover with the down arrow. We're just gonna push that right there, and instantly, that's just crazy. Instantly, it drops the rear suspension. So as you guys can see, it's nice and tucked in the back right there. The front is still high up, and this makes loading things so much easier into the Range Rover Sport. Once we've loaded our things in there, we want to get the ride height back up to where it's supposed to be. We just click the up arrow right there, and then the Range Rover Sport will send itself right back up to its original position. Small things like that, you guys, make and break a car and set something up from being good and being great. Another thing you'll find back here is these two switches right here, and this is obviously for lowering the seats, and I'll demonstrate how that's done. So we're just gonna go right back there, we're gonna push that, and as you guys can see, the seat will start to go automatically forward. Now obviously my driver's seat is pushed all the way back, so that won't be able to go very far. If you want to bring it back, we're just gonna pull that, and just like that, the seat comes right back up. Now let's talk about a little bit of the interior changes from the 2023 model. So the first thing that you notice when you get inside the 2024 Range Rover Sport is this right here, the new PIV system. So they've gone away with the old knobs that used to be over here, and everything is fully integrated into this massive screen right here, and I'll demonstrate how it works. So right now we've got Apple CarPlay connected over there. It's one of my favorite Apple CarPlays in any vehicle because of its landscape orientation. This allows the whole screen to be filled with your Apple CarPlay and Android Auto content. Now if we go to the Range Rover settings, we click this button right here, you will see that the whole new interface is completely amazing, super responsive. I've got it set up for haptic feedback, so it actually feels like I'm clicking real buttons when I press things. We click mode, and this will allow us to change our different driving mode. Currently I've got it in auto, so basically what it does is it will use its sensors and cameras to detect what type of terrain we're driving, and it will choose the applicable driving mode for it. My favorite one that I've been driving, however, is this one right here, dynamic. So Range Rover is so fancy, we don't call it sport mode, we call it dynamic. All right, and it's very cool. So it changes the gauge cluster over here. This also is very configurable. We'll get back to that in just a second. But if you click over here, you can scroll through all sorts of different settings. We've got weight settings, so you can literally put this thing in water and it'll show you the water level right over there. We got wheel information, our tire pressure, the angle that the wheels are at, energy impact. It shows you where the energy is going in the vehicle. Currently right now it's all going to my aircon. Driving style. Now this is something that I want to show you guys when we get over on the road. I'm gonna put you guys on, and then we're gonna get a POV drive of this Range Rover Sport, and I want to show you guys how good the fuel economy is. Now when we start driving, it's gonna be a little bit high because I was filming a reel and I did a little launch, so yeah, I was driving a bit spiritedly a bit earlier, so it's a bit high, but it'll settle and you guys will see how amazing the thing's on feel. Over here we got our air conditioning settings, heated and cooled seats, which work amazing, might I add. Yeah, so this is now how we change our temperature inside the cabin. Now I'm not the biggest fan, if I can be honest with you, of having touchscreen everything. However, it oddly works in this car. Like in other cars where it doesn't have haptic feedback and a responsive screen such as this, it can be so annoying because you'll be like clicking the screen 5 different times to try and get it to just turn the air up one notch and it won't work. But in this one right here, it works well. Would I prefer the knobs? Yeah, of course. I would like to have 2 different options, such as what we'll find in the back seat over here. This still has the traditional Range Rover knobs, which work absolutely amazing. Push for seat information, pull for aircon. Absolutely love it. Now, as we cycle through the settings over here, we'll find quite a few really cool things, right? One of the coolest things that I found yesterday was the air quality. So basically, if you click air quality, it shows you the quality of air outside as well as the quality of air inside. So in case you didn't know, Range Rover does not want you to breathe bad air. So in fact, what it does is it'll purify the air coming from outside, so everything in the cabin is pristine and right for your lungs. Furthermore, we got some more of the standard things that you'd find in previous Range Rover model. We got a valet mode, tow bar settings, media, phone, cabin lighting, which is really cool because it actually lets us customize the lights, right? So we can choose between Range Rover's options: classic, dynamic red, ocean blue. But if we go over here to my color, we click customize, and this will actually let us make our own color, which will reflect in the ambient lighting. One more really cool thing worth noting is this, and I actually made use of this last night with a bottle of water, and it works so well. The little fridge over there, guys, this thing gets so cold. Like even right now, it was actually on still. You can see a bit of frost developing over there. I have not seen a refrigerator system in a car be this effective that quickly. Like you can switch this thing on and in like 2 minutes, that little fridge is cold, guys. Like, I mean, my water almost gave me a brain freeze. That's how cold this thing got. So now let's just quickly talk about the gauge cluster over here. So I absolutely love the digital display. It's humongous and it allows us to do so many different things. So if we go over here to display layout, we can choose between dial, map, which is really cool because it'll show you the whole map. But one of my favorite one is actually focus, because it gives you a little bit of everything. So you will get your map if you choose to put it over there. If we're not in dynamic mode, so if we go over here to a normal mode, let's say comfort, you will actually see the map come on the right side of the screen, speed and fuel in the middle, as well as your music on the left hand side. This thing is very configurable, guys. You can choose to put whatever you want over there, as well as on the heads-up display. I'm not sure if you guys can see that right now. You'll see it in the POV drive. But yeah, you guys, let's get on the road and let's talk about how this thing is like to drive. All right, so driving the Range Rover Sport. Guys, this thing is an absolute dream to drive. Right now, the only noise I'm hearing is coming from the aircon and my ventilated seats working. So now let's just talk about how this thing's like to drive. So Range Rover has made this quite easy. So this is quite a large vehicle, and I will say this is quite an intimidating vehicle to drive for the first time, simply because of the value of everything, right? You've got 23-inch wheels, you've got this amazing bodywork, this paint that you do not want to damage, because my goodness, will respraying this be a nightmare. So they've given us this amazing camera system that you can use while you're driving. So in other vehicles that I've tested, this switches off after like 40 k's an hour or something like that, but Range Rover leaves it on there for you, so you guys can always know the dimensions of your cars. The really cool thing that this offers is the 3D view right here, and you can actually see your car as you drive, and this actually works. So if you put your foot on the brakes, you'll see the brake lights going on, same as the indicators. This allows us to see everything, right? Everything around us. Allows us to see how close we are to the curbs, how close we are to the road marking lines. Absolutely amazing. It makes driving a big car like this such a breeze and so easy. Now, as we cycle through this whole screen right here, you guys will see a multitude of different settings, right? If we go to the home setting right here, we can actually go and click on seats, and I'm going to turn on my nice massaging seat so my back can get all sorted out while I do this review. I must add, this is the best massaging that I have felt in any vehicle. 10 out of 10 feels like we have little Thai ladies in the back of my seat just poking my back. I want to show you guys something right here, right? So this is our economy. So I want you to keep track of this economy right now, and then when we finish this drive. So I'm going to drive normally, and as you guys can already see, this is starting to drop. Believe it or not, I saw 8 liters for 100 kilometers yesterday, and in such a big vehicle like this. I mean, guys, this thing weighs over 2.2 tons. This is a big boy, and it has the best fuel economy out of almost any vehicle that I've ever driven. But that brings me on to a segment that actually took a long time to think about, guys. Let's talk about the thing I don't like about this. Now, I have to say, I really had to search. I really had to sit down and think about this, because there's really nothing that I don't like about this, man. Everything that I've seen so far is amazing. And again, I haven't been driving this for long enough to see things that I really don't like about it. But straight off the bat, the piano black, right, is beautiful. However, it does leave a bit of fingerprints, and maybe that's just because I might have oily hands, so maybe that's just a me thing, I don't know. But yeah, we do get a bit of fingerprints over here, as well as on the massive screen, and also on the piano black buttons and accents on the steering wheel. That is something worth noting. I'm sure you can spec it in a different material, I'm not too sure, but yeah, you should keep a little cloth in the car just to wipe that down if you're somebody that's very pedantic about fingerprints and smudges and stuff like that. But that is quite literally the only thing that I could find about this, and that's not even something that's unique to the Range Rover. Every vehicle that I've tested that's got a massive screen in the center all get fingerprints. We human beings, guys, we have greasy fingers. Sometimes our hands get a bit dirty, and sometimes not even about it being dirty. Sometimes certain people just have oily skin, and yeah, that might leave fingerprints. So keep a little cloth in the car. It's not the end of the world, that you can get over. But yeah, man, that is quite literally the only thing that I could think about that I don't like about this thing. And I was thinking about it when I first received the car. I was like, okay, something I want to talk about that I don't like about is that it's not the V8 or the inline-6. But to be honest, I fell in love with this diesel motor, guys. I absolutely fell in love with this diesel motor. This thing has got plenty of power. It sounds very good from the cabin. I can't hate this, man. In fact, I really love it. The fuel economy, guys, I don't know how many times I've spoken about the fuel economy in this video, but I will speak about it again because it's something definitely worth noting. This thing is amazing on fuel, guys. Now, I want to pull up some of the fuel stats over here. Now, I must start this off by saying that it's gonna look like this because I took some of my family members for a ride last night, and yeah, I was hooning quite a little bit, right? So this is quite high, but I'm gonna start driving normally from this point forth, and then I'm gonna show you guys how that thing's gonna drop right down. So as you can see, my driving is on 52%, not very economical, but it shows you that the economy is 18.4 liters per 100 liters, guys. I bet you, right, that by the end of this video, that's gonna go down to 8 liters per 100 kilometers. Mark my words. But yeah, guys, we're putting up to the gym right now. Okay, like I'm just sitting in traffic, guys, and I'm just seeing everybody's faces just looking at this thing. It's hilarious, dude. Like, everybody acknowledges that this thing's a workout rod. Not everybody knows exactly what it is, not everybody knows how much it is, but they know beauty when they see it. And yeah, this is definitely one of those vehicles that just garner attention, man. It calls for it naturally, man. It doesn't scream for attention, it just calls for attention. Range Rover. Okay, guys, so check this out. 8.2 liters per 100 kilometers in an over 2-ton SUV, luxury SUV, might I add. Yeah, that's very impressive, guys. This diesel motor, this 3-liter diesel, is absolutely amazing. If you want to buy a Range Rover and you're a bit fuel conscious, or you just don't want to spend so much time with the fuel pumps, this is the one for you. Okay, guys, so let's summarize my experience with the Range Rover Sport. So this one being the 3-liter inline-6 turbo diesel. Guys, listen, I was absolutely shocked, and I still am very shocked with the fuel efficiency of this motor. I have no idea how Range Rovers managed to do this amount of... I have no idea how Range Rovers managed to achieve this amount of fuel efficiency out of a 3-liter inline-6 diesel, but I absolutely love it. This thing is super comfortable. You don't even notice when it shifts gears, but when you do plunge your foot, it gets going. It's no slouch whatsoever. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, the Range Rover Sport Autobiography completely exceeded all of my expectations when it comes to luxury and sheer opulence. The driving pleasure is one thing that I was not expecting, as I have been struggling to just park this vehicle and leave it alone. Every single time I can, every opportunity I can, I hop in the driver's seat of this thing and I take it out somewhere. Because, guys, listen, driving this thing is an occasion. It's not a chore to go to the shops to buy bread or milk. It's an absolute adventure with the Range Rover Sport. So yeah, if you guys are looking for a comfortable, luxurious, stylish, I mean just outright beautiful SUV, have a look over here, you guys. You will not go wrong with the Range Rover Sport.